on both of them.
It depends what the account is. Like,
so you can subscribe on both of them to my channel?
Yeah.
Do that, please.
Finally.
And if I'm streaming, because I stream mostly every day. I'm subscribing on the computer and subscribe on both the iPads. And Matt's phone. Subscribe on the iPad then.
Lancer 1-2 above mission area. Go, go, go!
Okay, subscribe twice then. Yay! Bullshit! How much health do you want? I want to see. You. Do it when you're on that computer.
I don't go on that computer. Dad does. Anyway, it's his account, so I have to go on the iPad.
If someone is watching my stream, I'll go trying to turn this photo on. Sorry?
No.
Yeah, because I just started my stream. Stream. It's Lucas in a party. Lucas, watch my stream.
I actually think I'm friended Lucas on Fortnite. I did.
Hello. Watch my stream. You have to watch my stream.
Okay.
I started the stream and I'm playing Blackout 4.
Why do you always play that Call of Duty?
Because I just got the game. Ooh.
No.
Imagine the life and stuff. Okay, I've got like... Okay, I need to go to the toilet. Wait.
I just need to like all your videos.
No wonder you're trash.
Blackout.
It's vibrating too much. It's gonna kill us.
We are cleared to drop.
It's vibrating too much. It's gonna kill us.
Okay.
I'm scared.
I'm at the factories. Lucas, are you watching the stream?
I am, look.
Lucas, you watching the stream?
I am, look.
I haven't seen it yet.
Lucas, you watching the stream?
I am, look.
I haven't seen it yet.
Sit rep. Potential collapse detected. Relocation to indicated safe zone is advised.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, there you go. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Are you watching the stream?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Don't you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it. Is it echoing?
What?
Is the stream echoing?
Yeah, you can hear for yourself. Don't you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear.
That's because we gotta mute it. Like, turn it all the way down, all the sound. Vivian, would you like to play some Doors on my stream? Have you subscribed to my channel yet? Wait, where? Where were you? I looked in that direction and you were not there. Wow, because this guy's camping in the most obscure spot in the world. He hid, you know the things in what's it called? In factories, there's like little circle containers, and he hid in the freaking circle container. And I looked in there, and then he jumped out, and then I'm like, okay, he's not here. And then I hear him, I'm like, where is he? And then he shoots me from the back. Are you playing solos, or I mean, are you gonna play? Are you playing now? Okay, I sent you an invite. I'm gonna play solo. I mean, yeah, solo again. When Amelia's Fortnite downloads, I'm gonna be playing Fortnite. I'm so bad at Blackout. Are you? Are you dead? You said, can I play? And I'm like, nah, we're just gonna play Doors. And she got a mic too. Eventually she'll become godness. Amelia is a goddess, not a god, not a god, goddess. Ooh, oh. How to get good at Blackout? How to get good at Blackout? First thing that came up. 20 beginner tips. Play on high sensitivity. 17, yay!
Once you guys find out, it was Ace, and with the Blackout beta finally here, I've already got a lot of people asking me for tips, wondering how to improve hopping into this for the first time, and you might be struggling a little bit, or you might be just looking for areas to improve. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing a ton of great beginner tips to help you guys get into this Blackout mode and be more successful. Some of these are going to be general Battle Royale tips for those people that aren't really into Battle Royale games. Some of them will be quick one-off tips, and other ones I'm going to go a little bit more into detail with so you really understand that aspect of the game. As for the gameplay in the background, I'm going to throw out my very first solo win. Keep in mind this was really early on in my playtime yesterday, so you might not see me implementing a lot of the tips I'm talking about today. And that's simply because at this point I was brand new to the mode and I didn't understand a lot of the complexities. So the first thing we're going to be be talking about is dropping.
Oh, this guy got his first gun as a swordfish. This guy got so lucky.
You don't want to be the one that's landing last after somebody's already on the ground and has a gun. You want to try and get there first, or at least at the same time as the other people. And this dropping mechanic does perform different than a game like Fortnite, for instance. The biggest key to this, if you're trying to travel any sort of a distance, and you're not just dropping right along the line of the helicopters, instead of just taking a flat trajectory and trying to float all the way over to that spot and then dropping
Okay, I'm
down,
gonna land hijacked.
it's actually much more effective if you initially drop straight down, even if you're going all the way across the map. If you initially drop looking straight down, so you gain that initial speed. Bonahar states the speed as 60 meters per second, so you can keep an eye on your speed meter there if you want. Or basically it's the point where your arms fold in. Once you reach that point, then level off and go horizontal, and you will shoot across the map super quickly because you maintain that velocity and you just transfer it so you're going forward with that velocity. This is very different from Fortnite because in Fortnite you would just normally drop if you want to go all the way across the map, and you kind of float across and then you just drop down. It doesn't work that way in this game, and this gives you a massive leg up over people. I've actually found myself several times using this where I can get a gun and then I can just look up to the sky and I see people with parachutes and I can shoot at them or wait till they land and then shoot them. So practice this a little bit, even if you're going all the way across the map, get that initial momentum, transfer it into your horizontal velocity, you'll get much further and you'll land much sooner. Another thing that's really important for dropping in, and the second tip I have for you today, is you want to minimize the amount of time that you're in your parachute. You want to go from wingsuit to being on the ground as fast as possible, because when you're in your parachute, you're kind of a sitting duck, you don't have a whole lot of control over your character, and you fall very slowly to the ground. This is a tip that applies to a lot of Battle Royale games, and what you want to do is you want to try and open your parachute over the lowest possible point. This is usually the water, if possible. So if you're landing in an area that has water nearby, you want to make sure you're wingsuiting to the point where your body is directly over the water when you're opening your chute, and then you glide into the spot. Now the reason for this is you actually open your chute based on your altitude above the ground at that current point.
Oh my god,
so
this
if
is
you're above
hell.
a mountain, you're going to be opening your chute above that mountain, and then if you're gliding down the mountain, you're going to be in your parachute for a very long time. Whereas if you open it above water, that's the lowest point on the map, and that will allow you to glide into your landing spot.
Oh my god, why are people camping? This guy has 3 kills by sitting in a corner. You gotta be kidding me.
Aware of what's below you as you get to that point where you're going to be opening your parachute. One more general tip that I have as far as dropping in goes is deciding where you want to land. This one might be painfully obvious for people that have played a lot of Battle Royale in the past, but for those people that are new to Battle Royale games, the hot zones at the beginning of a game tend to be first off in the middle of the map, so firing range, farms, as well as Rivertown. Those are really hot zones. But also any other area that is directly surrounding the path that the helicopters take at the beginning. So when you're in the staging area, open up your map, you can see the path that the helicopters are going to take. Any area, especially named locations.
No, I'm just gonna keep practicing solos.
Those are likely to be hot zones at the beginning of the game. So you might find situations where you can't find a gun and you're in a big rush and you get killed like immediately. Whereas the areas that are far away from that path, these tend to be the more cold zones at the beginning of the match. So if you stretch it out further, you're less likely to run into people immediately. And you're
Hijacked wasn't in the map at the start.
to get your loot and get ready to get in the fight. Now that's how you locate that. For the next tip, where should you be landing? And should you land in a hot zone or a cold zone? Which is best? Really, to me, this really depends on your goal for that match. Are you trying to practice? Are you trying to improve your skills and get better without worrying too much about trying to get a win? Land in the hot zones. It's excellent for practicing and making you a better player overall. Whereas if your main goal is simply to win or get the best placement possible, you're better off landing in a cold zone and taking your time, getting your loot, and then making your push in towards the zone and getting into the fight. Now personally, I highly recommend mixing it up. Land hot sometimes to warm up, to practice, to really work on your gunfight skills, and other times go for placement. Land cold and get yourself looted up to the max.
Well, that's funny. I didn't have aim assist on.
Mixing it up and doing both of these will end up making you a more versatile player, in my opinion. Kind of leaning off of this for the next tip that I have for you guys, and this is one of the biggest and best tips I can give for you to improve over time at this game, is take fights. Don't be afraid to take fights, and this can happen at any point in the match as well.
No, don't sneak her.
Here's some gunfire, and you've got at least half decent loot. Put yourself into that fight. Now, do it in a smart way. I'm not saying just run into that situation like chicken with your head cut off, because oftentimes other people will be approaching that fight too. So approach it in a smart manner, but approach the fight. I see far too many beginners that hear gunfire and they panic and they're terrified, and then they just kind of hurtle down into a building and hope that it passes over them. It doesn't make you a better player. It might get you better positioning more consistently in the game, but it's not going to make you a better player. Even if you are getting into a lot of top 10 or top 5 situations with almost no kills, eventually you're going to have to take a fight when that circle gets really small. And do you want to be somebody that's terrified of the fight, or do you want to be somebody that's confident going into that fight? In the long run, it's much better to be confident. So take any reasonable fight you possibly can, but do it in a smart way. Sometimes the situation is just not in your favor and you have to avoid a fight, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you hear gunfire, at least go and scope out the situation and see if it's something you want to get into. Next up, I want to start getting through some faster ones. We talked about those ones in a lot of detail. A quick one off, if you're moving from cover to cover and you're out in the open, you don't have much cover, and you expect somebody might be eyeballing you, which you should kind of always expect if you're out in the open, mix it up a little bit. Don't just sprint in a straight line, because there are some snipers that are pretty good at leading their shots and hitting that first shot. So what I like to do if I'm out in the open and I'm moving is I throw a little slide jump in there every now and then. What this means is I just go from a slide and then I jump out of that slide.
Are you still watching my stream,
and it just
Vivian?
makes you much harder to predict. If there's somebody eyeing you up at a distance with a sniper rifle, they'll probably think twice about even taking that
They're
shot
so laggy.
if you're being really sporadic. Next up, if you want to wingsuit off of high ground in the middle of
Yeah, Max
this
really
is one
good
that
shoot.
trips a lot of people up, and I'm sure most people have taken a death to this if they tried doing it for the first time without knowing this tip. If you want to wingsuit off of one of these high positions like the dam or the construction site, keep in mind
What's with
you
your
need to be high
mic?
enough to do this. Sprint towards the edge, jump, and hold your jump button as
Bro,
you jump
it's
off.
like-
Don't just tap the jump button, because then you'll just jump off
Like-
normally and you'll die.
like
Don't
it's,
try and, like, double tap it or anything. Just jump and
when you
hold.
speak, it's
This
like
will allow
really
you to
like
open your
glitchy.
wingsuit, and then
Like
you
it's
will land
grrr,
safely.
like
Hopefully this tip will be safe
hello.
for you guys before trying that for the first time. Moving on to the
That's
next
what you
tip,
sound
this
like.
is something that I really struggled with for the first couple hours that I played
No.
Blackout. Don't forget about your consumables and your equipment. These things will absolutely win you gunfights. Going back and watching some of my initial gameplay, it really like hurts me when I'm in a fight, I've got like a cluster grenade or something, and I'm not using it against the guy when he's clearly within range. The equipment, especially in Blackout, is quite powerful, so don't forget that you have it and don't forget to use it. Same thing goes with consumables. I still find myself often forgetting to activate my consumables because I'm thinking, oh, I don't need it now, I'll need it later on, but then there is never a later on where I actually use it. Don't be afraid to just instantly activate a consumable if you pick it up. They do tend to last for a couple minutes at least, and they will often help you in situations. Next up, we have a tip for healing. For a lot of people that have played a lot of other Battle Royale games, I've seen that they just assume that you can't move while you're healing. That's not the case in Blackout. Blackout's very different here. You can heal on the move in Blackout. It looks like it slows you down just slightly while you do this, but you can still keep a very good pace while you're healing. And this allows you to save very valuable seconds as you're healing. Maybe you're running away from an enemy around a corner.
No one
start
loaded
healing
hijack.
as you're running away instead of getting around that corner and then starting your heal. And this can save you those valuable seconds.
No, it's
to
gone
make
to the
difference
left.
between winning and losing that
Sit rep.
gunfight.
Circle
Next up,
collapse
footstep
imminent.
sounds.
Get to safety.
Footstep sounds currently in Blackout. This could change in
Oh,
the
no, there's a
future,
guy there.
but on the first day of the
Yeah, I'm
beta
shooting
for
it. I'm
Blackout,
shooting at this
they
guy.
are extremely loud. So if you're approaching
Hello?
a situation where you think there might be an enemy there, or you know there's an enemy there, and you want to try and sneak
No.
up on them, don't just sprint towards them if you can avoid it. Sometimes you just have to push because there might be other people looking at you. But in a lot of situations, what you can do to sneak up on them is simply crouch walk towards them. When you crouch and you're walking, your
Is there
footsteps
bullet drop
are
off in
nearly
this?
silent in this game. They're not going to hear you until you're right up behind them, if they hear you at all. Whereas if you start sprinting towards them, if they have a headset, they'll hear you.
Oh, there is
miles
bullet
away.
drop off. Yeah,
They'll
there's
be able
bullet
to
drop off.
scan you and move you off. This brings us to the next tip that I have for you guys, and this might seem obvious to some people, but I'm still
Because I can see my bullet and it's just dropping off.
If you're looting a body bag, so after you kill somebody and you're looting them, don't just stand there and loot them. Now on PC, this might end up being different if they have like a tab loot system where you can straight side to side while you're looting. But at least on console in the current build, you can't really move around a whole lot effectively while you're looting a guy's bag. So you're much better off just going prone and hoping that nobody sees you. I've actually picked off quite a few free kills that I probably wouldn't have even noticed if I didn't see them standing still over a body bag. So always be sure you go prone when you're looting a body bag, at least on the console build. The next tip I have for you guys has to do with the vehicles in this game, and this is something that you'll learn over time eventually. Vehicles are generally only good for moving from point A to point B. If you find yourself too far away from the action or way outside of the circle or something, I would strongly recommend that you limit your time within the vehicles. Now this is a little bit different for squads, and the cargo truck can be pretty good in squads for actually attacking objective and stuff because it has great cover and a lot of health. But aside from that, you generally don't want to be on a vehicle for too long because they're very loud, you can hear them from really, really far away, and most of them don't really offer that much protection for you. Next up is a gunfight tip that I have for you guys that's very, very important and will hopefully allow you to win a lot more gunfights in this game. If it's reasonable, always aim for the head. Now the reason behind this is armor is pretty common in this game. Like beyond the first initial fights, I would say the majority of the players on the map will end up having some form of armor, most likely just level 1 or 2. But if you get into a gunfight with a guy that has armor, if you shoot him in the head, the armor doesn't matter. You can completely melt people. And I've had actually a few frustrating deaths where I was wondering, like, how did I just get melted so fast? I have level 2 armor, and I just dropped in like 3 shots. Headshots ignore armor completely, aside from level 3, but that's a different story, and that's one of my minor complaints with this game so far. So really think about that and actively aim towards the head in the situations where it makes sense. Obviously, if you're trying to pick somebody off at a really long distance, don't bother trying to hit them in the head, just try and land as many body shots as possible. But if you're in a relatively close quarter situation, it is worth it to take that extra time and effort to aim towards the head. This brings us to our next tip, which is a very general tip, and it seems obvious to a lot of people, but again, it's something I wanted to point out for people that are maybe brand new to this style of game. Always try and get the high ground, especially when you get into situations where you're like top 10 situation, the circle's getting smaller. You generally want to fight for that high ground position because you will have the advantage in that high ground. Something that goes along with this is you also
Someone has a ray gun.
of the different pieces of cover. If there's a high ground position that has no trees or rocks that you can hide behind and everything
That's really
else is
cool.
open,
I saw someone kill someone with a ray
you
gun.
don't want to go to the high ground. It's probably not your best bet. I've also seen a lot.
Devine, do you want to try again the
Be
same
advised,
solo move?
further collapse expected. Relocate to safe zone.
No one's watching me. Yeah, why? 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 Because the people look at my stream, but see they have a YouTube channel or something. I don't know how to prove. Okay, I'm gonna stop my stream.